Is weight training on your to-do list, but somehow you still haven't gotten around to getting started? I get it. It's intimidating. It's stepping out of your comfort zone. But wouldn't it be great to finally do it and start looking and feeling younger and stronger? I have the answer for you. My new Strong for Summer group coaching program. I've got 6 spaces in this unique 8-week weight training Kickstarter where I'm going to be helping you get started weight training either at home or the weight room, your choice, so you can get stronger in time for summer. If you're interested in learning more, reach out to me in Instagram in my DMs or send me an email at lynn@befitafter40.com. The information is in the show notes. So today I wanted to talk about how do you choose the starting weight when you first start weight training. Now, this is a problem that everybody is going to run into when they first start training and then when they switch to a new exercise. They're going to need to decide what is the weight that they want to start with. Now, hopefully you have a program designed for you which has a rep range. So let's say the rep range is from 8 to 12 reps. So when you're starting on a new exercise, you want to choose a weight which allows you to do 8 to 12 reps of that exercise in a very clean fashion. Now, when you're very, very first starting out on a new exercise, I wouldn't be so worried about like that at the 12th rep or the 8th rep, you're at failure or close to failure. Choose something that you can do well, but that feels slightly challenging by the time you get to like the 8th or the 9th rep. The beginning of starting weight training or starting with a new exercise is going to be a little bit of searching for the right weight. And also the first weeks, you may notice that your weight goes up fairly quickly. Okay, so and this brings up the question of how do you know when you need to lift, raise your weight? So I designed my programs generally where there's a rep range. And today let's talk about 8 to 12 rep range. And then I encourage people to be doing 2 or 3 sets, depending on how much time they have. But let's go with the 3 sets. So the way this is probably going to look for you is the first time you go in, you're going to be testing. Let's say you're doing a leg extension and you try 10 kilos. And okay, that feels light as a feather. Then you switch the peg to 20 kilos, 30 kilos, 40 kilos, going up until it starts feeling like you're actually doing something. And I mean, basically, your first time that you're in there, you're kind of testing, right? It's not like a real effective workout anyway. So you do that with all of your machines. Now, or all of your exercises, because they won't all be on machines. Some might be in cables, some might be with free weights. Anyway, so then the next time you come in and you're doing the leg extension machine, you'll have that number that you got to. Let's say it was 20 kilos, that was an amount of weight, resistance that felt like, okay, when you were doing it, you could do it. It was feeling okay. And by the time you reached like 8 or 9 reps, you were starting to slow down your pace and such. So then the second time that you come in, you would have that 20 kilos and you do your first set with the 20 kilos and aim to do 1 more rep than what you did last time. So in the second time that you're in the gym, it may be that your first set, you're able to get the 9 reps, let's say, and then the second set, you're able to get only 8, and the third set, you're able to only get 7, for example. So it's not always going to be equal, like from set to set. You keep going at the 20 kilos until you have been able to go through all of your sets so that you're able to get 9 reps. Then you're ready to move up to 10 reps. And then you start working on trying to get 10 reps with that 20 kilos. And at the point where you're able to get the 10 reps with the 20 kilos, then you aim at 11 reps with the 20 kilos. See, so it's like slowly going up. And you do want to pay attention very much to your technique. And for example, encourage you that if you feel like, yeah, okay, I was able to get that many reps, but it was a little bit of a cheating or whatever, then stay with that for another week, for example, till you have it really solid. Because then if you keep going up like to the next weight, then your form may really break down. And that's not good for, making sure that your joints are staying healthy and, your body in general. And this whole concept is progressive overload, right? As we slowly increase the number of reps, and then when we get to the top of the rep range, so when you get to a point where you're doing that 20 kilos, each one of your sets, you're doing 12 reps and you feel confident in that 12 reps that the form is good, then you're ready to go up to the next weight. Well, in leg extensions, it might be then 30 kilos, or maybe it's 25 kilos. So choose your next weight so that you're able to do 8 reps. Okay, it might be that you can do 7. It's not so exact, but approximately the 8. Sometimes you have to play around with it a little bit because weight stacks grow at a certain rate, right? You might have 5 kilo differences, or there might be a 6 kilo difference or whatever. And you kind of have to live with that or test that. And then actually, if it is an issue that, hey, this 20 kilos is getting to be too light, but then the next step up, which is 30 kilos, is too heavy, then what you can do if it's a weight stack is that you can either use a dumbbell that you put on top of the weight stack. So you pin it at 20, and then you put a dumbbell that's maybe 3 kilos on top of it. So then the whole weight is 23. Or you can get a plate, a small plate, and put it on the pin so that, well, for example, my gym has 2.5 kilo plates. So then if the 5 kilo jump up is too much, then you can just pin the 2.5 kilo plate on the pin. So then you go from 20 to 22.5 and so on and so forth. And this is progressive overload. And that is how you are challenging your muscles or making sure that you continue to challenge your muscles. I mean, that's the point, that you're adding like a little bit more and a little bit more so that as your muscles get stronger, you continue to challenge them. Because if you think about it, if every time you went in, you always did 20 kilos and you did 8 reps. Well, okay, so that might be challenging like for the first 3-4 weeks, but then it would sort of become just normal, right? It wouldn't feel that hard to get the 8 because your muscles are at a level of strength that they can get the 8. And if you just continue to stay at that weight, then what's going to happen? Like nothing is going to happen, right? You're just going to maintain that strength level. Your muscles aren't going to continue to grow. Your strength is not going to continue to increase. And that's why when you get to that level, then you want to increase that challenge that you are giving your muscles so that your muscles adapt again, right? Same kind of principle. A lot of people have tried jogging who haven't done weight training. And it's kind of the same thing. Like if you're starting out running, in the beginning, it's like 5 minutes is hell. Then when you've done it for a few weeks, 5 minutes is nothing. Well, imagine if for the rest of your life, you just went out for 5-minute runs. Well, your conditioning is not going to really increase because you're not asking your body for anything other than a 5-minute run at the same pace. Maybe it's the same route every single time. So there's not going to be any adaptation happening. And that's why you want to be like increasing as you go. As you get stronger, you need to give it a little bit more resistance in order to continue to challenge your muscles. So that went a little bit beyond like, how do you choose your starting weight? But to recap, so when you're first going in there, you want to look at what is your rep range and then choose a weight where you can get to the bottom of your rep range with good form. And it should feel somewhat challenging. So good. And one thing I want to still say about this is that remember that this is going to be a long journey. So start off gently for your body and realize that your body is learning, right? It's learning the coordination. There's a lot of learning in your central nervous system to get the coordination going. So be gentle on your body. Don't feel like, oh my God, I've been watching all these videos and people are like lifting so much. Don't worry about that. Just get yourself safely on your way by going gently and slowly increasing your weights little by little. This is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And we want to make sure that we keep ourselves in good shape for that marathon and lay good foundations for continuing to be able to weight lift for the rest of our lives. So I hope that helped. And let me know if you have any further questions on that and any other topics. If you have any comments, then I would love to hear from you. I am always available in my DMs and Insta. It's the best way to reach me. And all the information is in the show notes. So till next time, happy training.